What on earth is going on now? Because this latest Katie Price story is so unbelievable that even longtime followers of her chaos-filled life are struggling to take it seriously. Tonight, Katie Price is claiming she fears husband Lee Andrews may have been kidnapped. Yes, kidnapped. After weeks of airport drama, missed flights, travel ban rumors, live TV humiliation, and endless public confusion surrounding their whirlwind marriage, the story has now escalated into something that sounds less like celebrity news and more like a bizarre Netflix thriller. More on that in a moment. But honestly, many people are now asking a brutal question tonight. Is Katie Price genuinely terrified for her husband? Or has this relationship finally crossed into complete soap opera chaos where nobody knows what is real anymore? Because the latest claims are extraordinary, and they arrive just days after Katie publicly admitted Lee Andrews had made her look stupid by failing to appear beside her on Good Morning Britain. If you want explosive celebrity stories that go beyond the headlines, subscribe now, because this Katie Price and Lee Andrews saga has now entered completely surreal territory. Let's just step back for a second and look at how fast this story has spiraled. Only a few days ago, the biggest controversy was Lee Andrews repeatedly promising to fly to England before mysteriously never arriving. That alone caused chaos online. Then came the airport videos, the confusion over where he actually was, the claims he had left Dubai, the allegations he may not even have passed through security, the live TV humiliation for Katie, the emotional podcast meltdowns, the missing wedding ring, the dramatic reconciliation posts. And now suddenly, Katie claims Lee Andrews has vanished completely. According to Katie herself, she has not heard from him for 3 days. She says his phone location disappeared. She says police in Dubai cannot locate him. And most dramatically of all, she says she fears he may have been kidnapped. That single word changed everything. Because the internet reaction tonight has been explosive. Not simply because the claims are shocking, but because many viewers no longer know whether to believe anything surrounding this relationship anymore. That is the uncomfortable reality now hanging over this story. Every new chapter somehow feels even more unbelievable than the last. And unfortunately for Katie, public trust in the narrative surrounding Lee Andrews has already been damaged badly by weeks of contradictions and confusion. Remember, this is the same relationship where airport appearances became a major online mystery. The same relationship where Katie publicly admitted things look weird. The same relationship where even her own sister openly questioned Lee's behavior. So when suddenly the story escalates into claims involving kidnappings and disappearing phones, people reacted with enormous skepticism, especially because some details sound almost impossible to process. According to Katie, the final FaceTime call allegedly involved Lee wearing a hood with his hands tied inside a dirty van, telling her he had been captured. That detail alone has left viewers completely stunned tonight, because people genuinely do not know how to react anymore. Some are worried. Others think the entire thing sounds absurd. And many are now openly asking whether Katie Price is unintentionally turning her own marriage into a never-ending public drama cycle. That may sound harsh, but honestly, the public mood surrounding this story has changed dramatically over the past few weeks. At first, people were entertained by the chaos, then they became concerned. Now many simply seem exhausted by it, because every day brings another escalation, another emotional twist, another unbelievable revelation. And increasingly, audiences feel like they are being pulled through a constant cycle of confusion, where nothing ever fully adds up. There is another uncomfortable problem too. Katie herself has already publicly admitted she knows people question Lee Andrews' credibility. She admitted she understood why viewers were suspicious. She admitted the airport situation looked bad. She admitted he had embarrassed her publicly. That matters now because it changes how audiences interpret this latest story. If trust was already damaged publicly, A dramatic kidnapping claim was always going to face enormous scrutiny online. And that scrutiny arrived immediately. People started asking difficult questions almost instantly. Why go public so quickly? Why post emotional videos online before authorities have confirmed anything? Why does every situation surrounding this relationship somehow become public spectacle? And perhaps the biggest question of all, why does this story keep escalating into more extreme territory every single week? Because at this point, the timeline feels genuinely surreal. Whirlwind wedding after days, billionaire businessmen claims, luxury Dubai lifestyle, airport mysteries, live TV humiliation, missing wedding ring, social media breakdowns, and now potential kidnapping fears. If this was written in a television drama, people would probably say it was too unrealistic. That is how extreme this situation has become. Still, it is important to say this clearly. If Katie Price genuinely believes Lee Andrews may be in danger, that is obviously serious. Nobody would want anybody to be harmed, and there is no evidence tonight confirming what has actually happened to Lee Andrews. But unfortunately for Katie, the constant chaos surrounding this relationship means many viewers now instinctively doubt everything connected to it. That may be the biggest tragedy in this entire saga, because when public credibility collapses, even genuinely serious situations become harder for people to process objectively. And honestly, some viewers now believe Katie herself may no longer fully know what reality looks like inside this relationship anymore, because emotionally, she appears completely trapped inside the chaos. One moment furious at Lee, the next defending him, one moment removing her wedding ring, the next posting declarations about him being all the love she ever needed. Now suddenly fearing he has been kidnapped. The emotional swings are becoming increasingly extreme, and people around Katie reportedly appear deeply worried, not just about Lee Andrews anymore, about Katie herself, because this level of constant emotional turmoil must be exhausting. The pressure, the headlines, the public embarrassment, the confusion, the non-stop online reaction. At some point, something has to give. There is another reason this story has exploded so intensely too. The timing. Only recently, Katie gave Lee Andrews what sounded very much like an ultimatum. She publicly said he needed to come to England and explain himself properly. She admitted she could not keep flying to Dubai endlessly, and she openly said she wanted answers. Now, suddenly, just as pressure around him reached boiling point publicly, he disappears completely. That timing has inevitably fueled even more speculation online. Again, there is no confirmed evidence tonight explaining what has happened. But audiences are increasingly struggling to separate fact, rumor, performance, and emotional reaction inside this relationship. Everything feels blurred together now. And perhaps that is why this latest story feels so significant. Because for the first time, many viewers are no longer simply asking whether Katie Price and Lee Andrews are chaotic together. They are asking whether the entire situation has now spiraled beyond anybody's control, including Katie's. Still, tonight Katie Price insists she is terrified. She says she has involved authorities. She says she cannot locate Lee Andrews. And she says she genuinely fears something serious may have happened. But until clearer answers emerge, public reaction is likely to remain deeply divided. Because after weeks of contradictions, emotional reversals, public humiliation, and increasingly bizarre twists, many viewers simply do not know what to believe anymore. And honestly, that may be the clearest sign yet that this relationship has descended into complete chaos. Subscribe for more breaking celebrity stories and updates, because this Katie Price and Lee Andrews saga keeps becoming more unbelievable by the day.